Look at him. And go, Jessica. Oh, what a day, eh? You all look absolutely fantastic, everybody. I'd just like to thank everybody for making the effort for today. It's been an absolutely brilliant day. And I truly agree, how absolutely fantastic I look today. Great, don't I look good, eh? Only kidding, Jess, you know what I mean? I see my little dewdrop here. She's gonna go, she'll be like me.
Keep breathing.
Yeah, it's only me and you know that, isn't the kid? Yeah, Jesse. Anyway, by the way, get myself back together. But yeah, I mean, what a great day it's been. Yeah, sun's been out, everyone's enjoyed themselves. I just like to welcome everybody for, spending time with us and doing everything, especially like Jean and Brian, welcome everyone to the family, we're all getting together, one big family. But I'd love to thank everyone who's come, everyone who's done everything. I'm not a public speaker, but I try my best, and that's how we go, so we're going on there, aren't we? So I'd like to pass you on to Brian, who'd love to say a few words for you all. He's another young man I'd like to introduce you to. Twins, born together, weren't we? Twins, aren't we?
Absolutely, yeah.
Here we go. This is Brian, everybody. Thanks very much. Brian, I've got to give you this first.
Oh, what's that for?
I don't know. I think Anton Decker going to come out any minute. Don't worry. There we go. Yeah. I'll put that there, but I won't mess with you.
Well, best offer I've had all day.
You don't need that now, you've got that.
No, he does.
He does, yeah. Don't listen to her.
Sorry, that's my fault.
Straight on the baby, Gina.
Well, it's not normal for the groom's father to speak, but
Throw a potato at him.
Come on, hurry up.
Paul and Jess said we don't want convention, so here I am. I just consider myself a warm-up act for the main event. Anyway, it's 6 years since they announced their engagement, believe it or not. And in that time, we've had 2 postponements, bit of chopping and changing. We've had a new arrival, and we had a bit of a wobble at Christmas, worrying about COVID, but we're here. We've finally made it. So enjoy yourselves. Well, it is normal to wish the bride and groom best wishes and success, but when I think what they've got already, Jess is a fantastic mum to George and Molly. She's been holding a part-time job down. Paul's very successful in helping to manage an industrial door company. Got a lovely house, 2 beautiful children, and they both work very, very hard to get where they are. And nevertheless, I wish you every happiness and all the success. Now, I want to speak about Jess for a second.
Oh dear.
I first met Jess, I was in the local pub. Yes, believe it or not. And I walked in and there was Paul and Jess staring longingly at each other over the bitter pumps. And it happened to be a fancy dress night. And I'm pretty sure Jess came as Harry Potter. And we weren't introduced, and she came round and offered me a shot of gillyweed potion. And for those that don't know Harry Potter, it's a magic potion that enables you to grow gills and swim underwater. Anyway, I didn't fancy swimming underwater that night, so I very politely declined. And when she found out I was Paul's dad, she came round. I'm very sorry, it's only Vimto, really. So I tried one. Anyway, it's fair to say she's had us under a spell ever since. Oh, ba-boom. There's more. It gets worse. Believe it or not, Jess isn't the only Jessica Copeland in the family. We have two. We have another one in New Zealand, the eldest son's wife, who we affectionately know as New Zealand Jess to differentiate. So when Jess has come along, now she's a Jess Copeland, we said, what shall we call her? And I said, well, let's call her Royton Jess. And then I thought, sounds a little bit like the local lady of the night, so maybe not. So we've scrapped that, it's just plain Jess. Anyway, I would, like Gordon's done, I would like to welcome Jess and all her family to the Copeland side of the clan. And it's nice to see you all here joining in, getting to know each other. So let's hope we see each other a bit more in the future. Right, a little bit about Paul. Now he's dreading this, I'm sure. Paul's the baby of our family. In his short time on this planet, he's been a cornet player, a roller hockey player, a milkman, a beer pump fitter, a jet propulsion engineer in the RAF, serving in Iraq and Afghanistan, an industrial door engineer and salesman, a warehouse engineer. Now he helps manage a very successful industrial door company. Now, the only problem is, the only downside, it's in Yorkshire, but can't have everything, can you? Sorry, John. Nearly done. Anyway, needless to say, we are immensely proud of him. As we are the other two sons, but seeing that it's your wedding day, you get a special mention. Now, just a little word of warning for Jess. Don't want to be too serious here, Jess, but I would suggest you put a lock on the sweetie jar first of all, because many years ago, when Paul was about 8, Gina and I went away for a weekend, and my sister, Auntie Marion here, very kindly stepped into the breach to look after the lads. And she came on with chocolates, sweets, goodies, and in particular, a big bag of the sugary coated worms, rubbery worms. Anyway, Paul claimed these as his, and he smashed a lot. So we came home, and a couple of days afterwards, he ended up in hospital. So after many blood tests and scans and what have you, they decided he's got something akin to a dog's rubber ball in his gut. Anyway, time passed, as did other things, and but he's still very partial to the worms. So wherever George is, I've lost him. Where's he gone?
He's in the chill-out room.
He's in the chill-out room. I'm going to say, just watch him, don't let him pinch your worms anymore. Anyway, that's enough from me. I'm going to hand over to Paul, but before I do, Gordon's already thanked everybody very, very well, and he's made a nice toast. I'd like to make a toast, not to the bride and groom this time, but now that we're all one family, I'd like you to raise your glasses and toast new families.
New families.
Right, over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, I'm going to start where my dad left off. I'd like to propose a toast to my beautiful bride. I think she looks stunning. It was, she came down the aisle and you probably all noticed it made me stumble quite a lot. It's been as Gordon touched on, it's been a really shite few years for everybody. For friendships, relationships, the works. And it's so nice to see everybody here. It really does mean a lot that you've all made it. You know, there's people travel from afar. We've got the Welshes, not allowed to do sheep jokes. We've got my cousin from South Africa, my auntie. We've got a load of people from local as well. And my best man from Southport.
Exotic.
Very exotic. No, it's been a wonderful day. Better than I could have hoped. And seeing everybody dressed so smart just makes me very, very happy. Extremely happy. So I'm not going to beat around the bush too much. I want to say thank you for being my wife. Cheers. So we do have family members that aren't here. It's going to be good if he's this eager, isn't it? Raising that man. I know you do. Well, some very special people that we need to kind of honour. The first one being the mother of the bride, Sue, for all your help.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's quite heavy, that. Careful. We've got, of course, my mother, for all the help you've given us.
Oh, thank you.
And there's one more very special lady I'd like to include. Lisa, for all your help on the hen do and all the organisation you've done, I'd like to say thank you.
Thank you.
And obviously Cassie, she helped, but she got something else. Way better. So I'd like to thank you all for coming. I think we're going to have a wonderful night. We're going to have some great music by my friend Chris over there. If you want any songs playing, go and annoy him. And badger him all night. So without further ado, thank you. And I'm going to pass you on to the speech you've been waiting for. The best man, Graham Taylor.
Gosh, I'm so nervous. So nervous, so nervous. Hello everybody, I'm Graham. I'm the best man if you haven't met me. And before I start, I've got a few words from Andy. And obviously he couldn't be here, as is alluded to. So, dearest Paul and Jess, New Zealand has never felt further away than today. Paul, I'm so happy you have found such a wonderful, kind-hearted person in Jess, which is amazing after such a poor track record. I couldn't be more proud to see the partner and father you've become. Like Paul, marriage can be hard work. But I know firsthand what a great team you make. So congratulations to you both on this beautiful occasion. And hopefully the future allows us to share in many more family events, but nothing will quite make up for not being there on your wedding day. And finally, Paul, well done on creating our very own Jessica Copeland. It's nice to see, your very own Jessica Copeland, sorry. It's nice to see you still like to follow in my footsteps. Biggest love, Andrew, Luca, Ada, Pixie, and Jessica Copeland the first. So, if you can't tell, I really don't like public speaking. And I was going to make a joke about a bet, but I don't think anyone's had a bet today. But if they had, 60 seconds would have been about it, and I would have split the pot with whoever had it, so. Hopefully Paul will last longer tonight. Before he falls over drunk, people, come on. Paul kept joking with me about a PowerPoint presentation. So that's what he's got. And I hope it plays what it's supposed to and not the video we made last night. Oh, before we go any further, Jess, well, I best still speak. I don't know about him, you took my breath away today when you walked down that aisle. Absolutely stunningly beautiful. He was obviously in awe of you as you came down the aisle, and he couldn't wait to get hold of your hand. Amazing. And your bridesmaid as well, lovely. And the men, we haven't done bad, have we? No. Not bad. Not bad. So, after that, it's not working. How's about that then? It's gone to sleep. There we go. So I'm not as good as Paul at this. His performance as my best man was polished, his delivery was on point, and he warmed everyone up in the room with a couple of jokes. Laughter erupted, even from my nan, when he mentioned the honeymoon and that I was going to bang her for a week. I felt the pressure to come up with something equally as good, so I googled funny and rude place names. Now, unfortunately, I quickly found that everywhere was too rude. So disclaimer, what you see on the screen are actual places, nothing to do with me. Did you know there's a place in Canada called... Apparently, Captain Cook came up with place names to offend the oversensitive. So if anyone's oversensitive tonight, I'm sorry, it's not me. As I say, full disclaimer, Captain Cook named this town. It's a harbour town, and I didn't think that you would be needing it on the wedding night. So we'll move on. There's a place in Georgia, USA called... But the way Paul drinks, Jess will be lucky if she ever gets there. I think due to the way the current situation is in the world, though, they might have to stay in the UK and possibly head to the New Forest. In case you do get really stuck for somewhere to aim for, there's a couple more ideas there for you. Now, there was a town in Dorset, and I got told explicitly, because it's quite explicit, I couldn't put it on the list, but if anyone wants to look it up later, that's up to you. Okay. I know. It's what can you do? I think I first met Paul when Mark invited me to a barbecue, and we were trying to work it out last night because he had something made for me, which I really appreciate. I've got some cufflinks here. Exactly when that was. Now I place it about 15 years ago, and Paul gets to 14 when it all really hit off and our relationship started to solidify. Yeah. He was still baby-faced when I first met him. His eyes carried more experience than most, though, and it's not surprising with what he'd been through. We just seemed to find it easy in each other's company, and our friendship grew. Nights out and a lad's holiday planned, and we had a lad's ski trip, and it was all set in motion, and off we went. I take credit for teaching him to ski and snowboard in the same holiday, and unlike others, he never tried to stab me with a ski pole once.
Never caught you?
No. Our bromance blossomed at this point, and we really did do some skiing whilst we were away, but you know, we got on like a house on fire. And whilst we were there, we decided to make a bit of a video, and that was Mark, Paul, and myself. And we decided to have a race one afternoon, and finally, that's here.
You're aware.
It's coming.
He's just remembered what this is.
They've not put the sound on.
They've not put the sound on.
Oh, have I not put the sound on? Sorry. Sorry. Let's get... Sorry. I don't know what it makes a difference if I'm saying sorry to a microphone or not.
Keep moving the mouse.
I'm using the mouse, just because I'm not very good at it.
Are you sorry?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, people. I told you I'm not very good at this. And I'm so nervous, and it's one of those things, what can you do? You try and get everything perfect. I came in here at 8 o'clock this morning to set this up. I spent an hour and a half trying to get their machine to talk to my machine. When he wouldn't talk, I had to drive into Wilmslow and buy a different thing so my machine would plug into their machine, but finally, I got there.
In this episode, I catch a train and the other two idiots don't.
Here we are in the Swiss town of Cloisters, and we're going to have this race. Me versus these two. 4 planks of wood versus the Swiss finest engineering, which just...
He's going to miss. He's going to miss.
Running. So anyway, I'll see you guys later.
Well, made it. So long, suckers. That's where they are. Sat in there, waiting for us all.
Cable cars are all set. Open the doors. We've not set off yet, and it's 4 minutes to 4. We might not even make the T-bar. This race is over before it's begun because of Fred Dibner and his sledges. Fred Dibner and his sledges. For some reason, we need a leaf on the track. I think there's enough snow on it.
Don't stand a chance. We have Swiss engineering on, well, transport that's never late, never breaks down. So, I think well, the temperature in here is warmer than it is out there. So, I think I'll just take the gloves off and warm up for a bit. Now, they have to ski through snow, blizzards, things like that. Whereas I'm just travelling through the blizzards on a train. It was warm. And I don't have to worry about fog, being killed by an avalanche, anything like that, maybe being mauled by some kind of snow golfer or one of Paul's exes. So, yes, we are motoring. You are so lost.
Well, this should be our last session because we don't know where the are. We think we should be up there somewhere, and we come too low.
What's the pole?
We're pretty out of it.
We're the only ones at the moment.
We're the only ones up here.
Get a bit steamy in it. Wonder how that blizzard is. We've been in here. It's a bit warm.
We managed to find our way. Fell off the piste a couple of times. The guy over there will not let us on the T-bar. It's shut.
So we're stuck on the bloody mountain.
So we're going to have to try and find our way down.
It's a case of walk down or it's a black running below visibility.
And it looks like it's the black, the other fella's here, the guy. And we're going down. We're going to have to go down. Catch the bus. We've lost the race.
We haven't lost.
No, the race is lost.
No.
Yeah.
Might be some sort of badger on the line or something.
I don't think there will be. We can only hope now. We're going to have the run into the hotel anyway. So.
They are not going to beat me. Right, Paul's probably doing a face plant in a tree right now. So I'll let them buy them a beer when they arrive after me. Might do. Let's see how generous I feel.
They think it's all over. Could we have possibly won? Could we have possibly won?
Oh, shite. I hope that's not them. Time to run. Gotta move on.
Here we go. 9. Get these doors open.
No.
Right, we're off. Is there any chance? We're making the last final attempt, excuse me. We look like nutters, running in ski boots down the road. Turn it in. The skis are there. That's it. It's all over. I hope he's got the beer in. Defeat with a pair of skis at the door. And there he is, sat at the back of the bar. All cozy.
Unbearable, man.
We lost the race, but we had the most fun. And our last ski trip was definitely more civilised. more about the cake than anything else. There you go. After that, for the next little while, it was like he lived at ours at the weekends. I don't know how long it was, but every weekend you were at ours. And whilst he was there, I made him fix the house in the day, because we were building or renovating a house. And at the night, we would drink and chat about everything or nothing, and play the guitar and sing for hours. And then when Shell would go to bed, we'd sit and play Mario Kart, and I'd always win. It was always fun and games, and one particular time Paul it stopped talking to it. Sorry. Worst best man speech ever. Paul decided to go down to the local shop in a poncho in the middle of summer in 30-degree heat. So we wandered down, and he walked in and asked the guy for some cigarettes and said, "Oh mate, it's a blizzard out there, it's raining cats and dogs," and the guy just had to stand there and look at him. You probably all know Paul likes fire. I'm being topless. We had many a fire. He had this great idea to make napalm in my back garden to burn through a tree that had fallen down. So for like a month, we tried to burn this tree with different variants of napalm he was trying to make. That would just fill the whole entire neighbourhood with smoke. My neighbours must have loved us. Well, the same was really when we went to the Lake District camping. We set up this train tent, and we had this fire pit, because obviously he loves the fire, and knives. And fire. And we decided to make a chimney for it. And we started with Pringles cans to start off with, which was held together with some gaffer tape. Great engineering there, mate. That didn't quite work, so we went on the hunt. And in our inebriated state, we picked up a pipe. We didn't realise it was bitumen until it was all dripping in the fire. And again, there was smoke that filled the whole campsite this time, and everyone was loving us. Paul didn't care. He loves fire, so... Another night, we went out into town, and Paul decided he was going to do his normal thing and fall over on the floor. I think anybody who knows Paul knows that he goes on the floor quite a lot when he's had a few drinks. And he was on the corner outside the market when the police helicopter... Now, camera phones weren't invented, and obviously we didn't feel the need to take a selfie every 10 seconds, so I had to make a graphical representation of the police helicopter hovering above our heads for about 15 minutes while he lay on the floor crying to me, "I can't get up, I can't get up." And I was saying, "Get up, you plum, they're going to arrest me." I think me thought I'd finished him off. Anyway, as is the way of life, things move on, and he found his own house, and of course, Jess. I've always thought of Paul as a brother, really. They say you can choose your family. You can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. And I found Paul, chose him as a friend, and found family, and he is a brother to me. And today, he has married the person who changed his life forever. Everyone's alluded to the past few years. I've gone way off track now. I don't even know where I'm up to. It doesn't matter how much you practice something. When they first met, that was it. It really was. I think she came once and never went home, and they've been together ever since. They just fit together perfectly. We could see they were made for each other. They enjoyed the dinky life for a while, with festivals and dancing and holidays, and I don't quite know what the prawn's about. And then came George to make them a little family. And as we just said, the past few years we've had to postpone and postpone. So we had another little addition in the middle of it all with Molly. So now they've got the perfect little family, and it's the perfect time to go and get the snip. They've made two beautiful children together. They made a happy home. They've stood in front of us all today and shared their love for each other. After nearly 9 years together and 2 children, there isn't really much advice that can really be given. It's just so nice for me to see them together. Jess, you're an amazing mum. You're loving and caring to Paul and your children. You're a match for Paul in every way. Relationships are always work. Anybody who's been in for one for longer than 5 minutes knows that you've got to work together. It takes sharing and understanding, kindness, sometimes forgiveness, sometimes knowing when to speak and when just to shut up. As long as you're always willing to talk and listen to each other, love will always find a way. And Paul and Jess, you have that connection, that bond where love will always find a way. So the only thing left for me to do is ask those of you who can to please stand with me. Take your glasses. May your love always guide you. May your lives be filled with joy and happiness. To the new Mr. and Mrs. Copeland, Jessica and Paul. Cheers.
Thank you.